Guys, this is Matt Gardening and I'm Vijay. Today we are going to look about growing these beautiful looking tomato plants from sowing to harvesting. So watch till the end of the video to know more about this plant. Press the thumbs up button if you like the video or a thumbs down button if you dislike this video. Comment down in the comment section below so that I would get to know more about my videos. And subscribe to my channel if not yet subscribed and press the bell notification so as to get notified about my videos. So let's get into the video. So I'm going to use a paper cup for sowing these seedlings because when we transplant the plant, you can directly transplant them into bigger container. You need not remove the cover, which may damage the root of the plants. So this is a very healthy soil, rich in nitrogen and phosphorus and all other required nutrients. So use more compost in your soil mix. Select a heirloom tomato plant and cut it down like this. And heirloom plant is the native variety. So you can use any native variety so that it best suits your climate. So just squeeze down the seeds. It's very easy to do like this. Just add some tile on top. Water it immediately after sowing. Place it in a sunny spot like this. Let's see about transplanting these new seedlings. It's nearly 1 month old and it's grew very taller. It's looking very beautiful. Can you see how green it is and how lush it is? So this is a healthy plant. So let's always sow or transplant your seedlings in a bigger container like this, because the stem of the tomato plants tend to grow roots like this when comes in contact with moisture. So I'm going to fill this till this part with soil so that it would be deeper for the seedlings to grow. So always try to sow your tomato plants in a deep soil. So I'm going to deepen my pot with the help of the soil. I have deepened the container by adding more soils because the tomato plant grow roots throughout its stem. So you need to pluck these leaves underneath. Should pluck these off, and if you need you can plant them, and I have many seedlings so I'm going to throw it off. I'm going to plant it in another container, so I'm plucking it and keeping it safely. So I'm going to plant this in this. I'm going to make a deep hole in it, dug it down underneath. You can also add any vermicompost or any other compost into the soil and it will enrich the plant. I'm going to use the crumbled eggshell pieces into the ditch. I'm going to add some crumbled eggshells. The more deeper the ditch is, the more stronger your plant produces more roots from the stem. It gives more support to the plant. So I'm going to directly plant this cup into the soil, so it will generally degrade and give nutrients to the plant as well. And immediately after sowing, water the seedling This is how I transplant my seedling. It will result in 100% success, so there's no chance of death of the seedling. First we saw about sowing and then transplanting. Now let's see about the container we are going to transplant into. It must be at least 5 gallons, that is, it must be 20 liters in weight, because tomatoes are heavily blooming and fruiting flowers. Their fruits are very heavy, so they require a lot of nutrients for producing those kind of fruits. So you need to give more nutrients through soil. So I prefer 5-gallon container. You can even use a bigger container for growing indeterminate varieties of tomatoes. So now let's see about the sunlight requirement for tomato plants. Tomatoes require 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight because they are heavily blooming and fruiting plants. They require a lot of energy. So all the energy we get for plants from sunlight. So they require 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight. They can survive in 4 to 5 hours of sunlight. If it is less than that, their produce will be very meager and you will not get a good harvest from it. If you give sunlight less than 6 to 8 hours, that is 4 to 5 hours, they produce very less amount of tomatoes. And if you give even less than that, then what happens is you end up producing 1 or 2 tomatoes from the whole plant, or sometimes it may even not produce tomatoes and it may die. So see to that you give at least 6 to 8. Let's see about watering. You need to water your tomato plants 2 to 3 days once. That will be enough. Or when the top 2 inches of the soil is dry to touch, you need to water your plants, because too much dryness or too much water may end up in bad growth of the plant. If the watering is not frequent, then the flowers may drop, and if the water is not given, if the soil is so dry, then the plant may also dry out, which will cause the death of the plant. So see to that very clearly. Let's see about fertilizers and nutrient giving to tomato plants. The key tip for growing more tomatoes is the soil must be rich in nutrients. After that, when they are 1 month old, you need to give nitrogen rich organic manures like cow dung manure, vermicompost or leaf compost. Whatever compost you get, you should add for a lush green growth. So when they start to bloom, when they start producing buds, you need to give banana peel fertilizer or any other phosphorus rich fertilizers like bone meal, etc. But if you give bone meal and eggshell powder at the starting stage, at the very starting stage when you transplant the seedlings, if you mix them in the soil, that's better, so that it would be available when they are blooming. They are a slow release fertilizers, like eggshell powder and bone meals are very slow release fertilizers, so think of it at first. Spray Epsom salt mixed with water over the plants when they are about 1 month old. Epsom salt has magnesium and sulfur, which is very necessary for the plants to establish, and the magnesium is the key component in the chlorophyll, which gives green color. It means you are going to gain more energy by giving more magnesium. So you can give more magnesium sulfate, that is the Epsom salt. So for this I'm going to take some red soil and then some compost. It would be about 25% compost and 25% red soil. Another 25% of cocopeat and other 25% of vermicompost. Mix them well together so tomatoes are a very well-known fruit throughout the world, and it is available throughout the year. Do you think it is unseasonal? But not. They are also seasonal. They actually grow in a cold, mediocre, a temperate climate. They produce more fruits at that time. If it is too hot, they don't produce any fruits, or if it is too cold, they also don't produce fruits. If you live in the North India or in any cold climatic regions, what happens is due to frost they die. If you live in Chennai or Tamil Nadu, during summer days they dry and die. So these 2 seasons are not preferred much. The spring and fall seasons are the best time to grow tomatoes if you live in a hot climatic region. And if you live in a warm or very sunny location like mine, you can grow tomatoes even during winter, but not at all during summer. During summer they don't produce any fruits. I have got fed up growing tomatoes during summer. So don't even try that, and I have ended up many times resulting in no fruit. Due to high humidity, the flower doesn't get pollinated during summers, so don't try to grow them. That's waste of time and waste of energy growing tomatoes in summer. Now let's see about pollination. If you don't have any honeybees in your area, then due to lack of pollination, there may be lack of fruits in your plants. So you place your plants in a windy spot like this, where you get a lot of wind, so that the wind automatically pollinates. Or if you don't even have wind, if you have kept your plant in a balcony where wind is also not available, then just tap your plant, which while shaking pollination occurs in tomato. This region above the yellow color part is the anther. From there, the pollen enters into the stick-like structure, stigma, and pollination occurs. So you need to shake it. From there, it falls on here and pollination occurs. It's a bell-like structure, which is very, very special in nature. Next, let's see about propagating ways. There are many other propagation ways. You can grow these tomato plants from cuttings, from seeds, from branches, etc. This plant was grown from a branch. Do you think so? Yes, it was grown from a branch. I like the plant which I was growing before, so I don't want to miss that variety of plants, so I just grew them from cuttings, because these cloned plants are same as their parent plants, so you can grow if you wish to do like that. For insects, you must always try to remove them manually at first, then only you need to go with any kind of organic pesticides, like if you see any aphids, just pick them, okay, with your fingers. Mostly aphids, mealybugs, and leaf miners are the most common insects for tomatoes. There are no other kind of insects. Yes, there are, but most of the time these will only attack. You can watch my videos on insects. It's linked down in the top right corner. Click on it to watch them. You can see these are the eggs of aphids. If you see them at the starting stage, you should remove them like this. Just smash them with your fingers. That's all. They'll not come back, or they'll never grow again. That's very easy to know, right? Smash them. It's very easy to do like that, and it will be the best remedy for any insects. Notice them whenever you go. So now let's see about the sunlight requirement for tomato plants. Tomatoes require 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight. Because they are heavily blooming and fruiting plants, they require a lot of energy. So all the energy we get for plants from sunlight. So they require 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight. They can survive in 4 to 5 hours of sunlight. If it is less than that, their produce will be very meager and you'll not get a good. This is Matt Gardening and I'm Vijay. Today we're going to look how my tomatoes have been grown. Actually, this is my first harvest since I'm growing. I have started a garden. This is my first tomato ever. I've never grown tomatoes before. Actually, it's just unlucky for me, this plant. As I tried many times, it didn't grow. Not even once. Actually, I had holidays in the season of growing tomatoes, so I was not able to grow tomatoes. So this is the first time I've got tomato. See how I'm harvesting it. Yes, very good looking tomato. Yeah, it's heavy and it's juicy. Let's see how it is inside. And it didn't get affected by the calcium deficiency which many tomato plants gets. So this is very healthy actually, and it's purely organic. I hope this video is useful to you. Grow your own tomatoes in your home garden and get a big harvest like mine by using the given tips. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification to get notified about my video, and comment down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Happy gardening!